right?
Yeah, welcome everybody to another episode. I can talk. It's already Friday and the coffee's hitting. Welcome everybody to the Chop Sports Daily, coming to you live from Chop Studios right here in Matawan, New Jersey. It is Sturch. It is Gooch. It is Wrestling Rob behind the glass. It is Break Bud Joey's in the house. We also have Ash in the house. It is a full packed house for a football Friday lean edition. We want to thank everybody for sticking with us throughout the entire time that we've been a live show every day. I mean, we've gone through some shit. Let me tell you, we've gone through, let's see, you've done shows from your attic and basement. I've done shows from the hospital moments after my son was born. Like, we've done a lot of consistent things over here. So today is our final daily show for at least 10 weeks, but all sources have said that we're not just going to be gone for 10 weeks. You never know. We'll see. But anyway, thank you guys for joining us. Smash that like button. Oh, I felt so YouTuber-ish on that one. Hit the like button. Just like the video. I don't like doing this. Again. I don't like doing that at all. That's just weird. But anyway, hope everybody's doing well out here on a Friday. It is a jam-packed show. We went and saw a fantastic football game. We'll get into all that today. If you want to support the show, do so by heading on over to patreon.com/Chop Sports. There's a $3, a $5, a $10 variation. That's the way to support this show as we move into a 3-day-a-week show. So what we're going to do is we're going to start Monday, Thursday, Friday, and let the sports dictate us. So obviously when baseball playoffs come rolling around, we'll want to do that, as well as, anything that's prominent that it calls for it, right, Gooch? Like, calls for it, we're up. We're good to go.
Yeah, we're going to let the sports dictate what we do over here.
Yeah.
So that's the best way.
Obviously, a big day coming up on Monday as the debut of the Mojo Market Report happens over on the Mojo YouTube channel. So be sure to go subscribe to those guys and keep your tabs on all their social medias. They got some really cool stuff that literally me and Gooch were all over last night throughout the game because things were moving up and down and dropping left and right. So definitely check out the app as it launches on Monday. So I think the soft launch is open. Done. Did you update your app? There's like one more update.
I have not yet, and I have to. I was reading this.
I mean, it's going to last for 2 days because it's like the real
thing. That's why I was like, right. I'm just going to wait. I was looking at the player movement last night. Cool stuff.
Yeah.
We'll get into that. Maybe we'll get into that a little bit later, but definitely on Monday.
Yeah, for sure. So, so later on in this show, we'll be doing our Friday leans for week 2. We'll be joined by the sauce himself, Kyle Kirms, who, by the way, slapped last night. We'll get into that when we talk about the game. But first, Gooch, we have ourselves a rundown, and it's being brought to you by the Fusco Insurance Agency. Visit FuscoInsuranceAgency.com for all the stuff that Mike Fusco is doing over there. And like I said, I would love to describe all the things that he does, but he does so much shit that it becomes so long-winded, and I truly need to educate myself on all that. But definitely go check out his website. Gooch, the rundown, hit me.
Yeah, so it's the Football Friday lean. I'm going to get the other sports out of the way. Couple things. The Mets are seeking a new team president because Sandy Alderson is stepping into a new role. He's transitioning out. He's not out with the organization, but they're looking for a new guy. Minority owners of the Suns, they want the majority owner out. So however, they wrote a letter to the commissioner, I believe.
Okay.
And it looks like that this is not going to end anytime soon. This guy, they want him out. What do you think ends up happening? Do you think he goes?
This is one of those things where it's like, if enough people around the league, like, look, LeBron is like the face of the league, right? And he's going out there saying, like, get rid of this guy, and then obviously Chris Paul and everybody else involved in this, he's gonna go. Like, it's just a matter of time. I wish they would do the same shit with Daniel Snyder, but for whatever reason, this guy must have nudes of Goodell's wife or something like that for him to keep his job.
It's hard to take something from somebody that has a whole lot of money, and that if he wants to keep it, it's going to be up to him. Does he want to deal with the public backlash? That's really what it comes down to. I don't think they're going to be able to get rid of him.
It's also that the Suns are good. It's not like they're a bad franchise.
That's true. Yeah,
I mean, they're good. Like, what happens then?
They have the promise to be a playoff team every year. You know what I mean?
Like, it's like this guy.
Yeah, he's going to be the one on the court with the fucking trophy. Like, oh, here you go. Nobody likes you.
Yep. All right, so
that sucks.
Back to real sports. We got NFL injury news because it is in fact the Lean Friday edition over here. Michael Gallup is returning to 7-on-7 drills.
Baby.
Dak Prescott is definitely being rushed back because
he's out there on the field already.
They say week 6. Against the Eagles. So if that's the case,
Sunday Night Football, the stage is set.
I've seen Dak get dropped in a couple leagues. Maybe I'll put him on my IR.
Who said they dropped him yesterday? Didn't somebody say they dropped him?
Yeah, Nick, our sound engineer, said he had to drop. And my dad, I mentioned this yesterday. My dad had to drop his kicker because Butker went out for a week, and he drafted Butker as one of the higher kickers, right? But he had to drop him because of the archaic ownership of this league, and that being me, that you couldn't IR Dak. So he didn't want to drop Dak Prescott. He's got Kirk Cousins on the bench. He's bringing him in off the old reservation, and he gets to wait until Monday night for that. But it just Dak Prescott's out there throwing left-handed yesterday in street clothes. So it's like, this guy, you can't pry this guy
settle down. He's going to get re-injured. Stop it, Dak. Just get back. All right. Anyway, Brian Robinson was seen back at practice doing drills yesterday for the first time since being shot. That's good news for fantasy owners and Commanders fans alike. Hopefully he gets back soon. Prayers up to Brian Robinson. It's good to see that, he's going to be back this season, probably around week 5, like they were hoping.
Guns blazing.
Do you expect him to get played a lot, or do you expect him to slow?
I mean, they're going to ease him in, I'm assuming.
For us fantasy guys that have him.
It depends how far along, because look, he might, because he's on the IR, he might end up being healthier sooner than they anticipated, and then he's got 2 weeks to get right. If he's getting healthy around that time, because they have to hold him out a certain amount of time. Let's say he's ready to go in 2 weeks. They still have to hold him out because they used up the pup thing on him.
The pup is a 6-week.
So he has to. I think it was.
The problem is if he's off the pup.
I think it's 4 weeks.
No,
6 weeks is IR.
No. You got it reversed. You got it reversed.
TJ Watt got put on the IR. They said 6 weeks he could return.
There might be I think the pup, 3 different variations of that.
I think the pup is 4 games.
Yeah.
So he can come back.
Yeah, he has to sit out at least 4 games. And if they don't bring him back, then they have to IR him.
Which would be another 4 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think that's what the rule is on that. I could be wrong, but it's something.
Hawaii Mike's coming in. There's different types of IRs. That's definitely the truth. I think it's 4, 6, 8. Much like our Patreon being 3, 5, 10.
Season-ending IR is one, obviously, as well.
Obviously, yeah.
All right. So speaking of season-ending IR, Jamal Adams underwent season-ending surgery to reattach his quad to his bone or something like that.
Little Triple H action over there, quad. Rob.
That's a shitty injury. I'm not really a big Jamal Adams fan, but I don't like to see anybody have to deal with something like that. Quad injuries suck. I'll tell you that. All right. So Najee Harris and J.K. Dobbins were back at practice in full. These are 2 guys that I'm sure a lot of us across the board are relying on at least one of these guys. J.K. Dobbins didn't play last week.
He's a go? If he's full in practice, he's got to be a go.
I would imagine he's going to go. Yeah. He's questionable. Unless there's a setback, which is very possible. I think that we could expect to see at least Dobbins a little bit on the field. And Najee Harris is saying that he's ready to go 100%, but we'll see what the Steelers do with that.
Right.
Jalen Warren didn't get too much carries. I don't think Najee really I don't know, man. Like there was a lot of football played with Jalen Warren as a starter, and he still didn't see the ball that much. So I think it's Najee time again. Kayvon Thibodeau is looking confident that he's going to make his NFL debut on Sunday for the Giants. The Giants have a very winnable game.
Yes,
Could it be 2-0 New York Giants? We'll find out.
Can you imagine the uproar? They're going to be setting up stages for the fucking Canyon of the Heroes.
And deservedly
Super Bowl.
Deservedly so. They had no hope. It gives them at least they're ahead of the rebuild.
It gives them at least a 2-15
It gives them confidence in their coaching. It gives the quarterback a little bit of confidence. You got to be happy. 2-0 is 2-0. It's the NFL. They could be 0-2 against these teams.
If I'm a 2-0 Giant fan, I'm strutting around like McGregor for a week.
The Titans were the 1 seed last year. I know that they're not good anymore. Or they're far removed from that team, but they were the 1 seed nonetheless. That's a big win for the Giants, and they have a winnable game. So be interesting to see how that plays out. And I gotta say, shout out to the fucking Sauce Network, bro.
He's got to take that hat off.
The prop beaver.
Oh God! All right, I see him in the. Well, hold on, I see him in the lobby. You could bring him in if you want.
The prop beaver showing out, going 3-0 in his props. He
switched the thing.
Called me yesterday after I tweeted out green check mark, and AJ was bugging out because he thought I jinxed his bet.
No jinxes.
There's no
such
jinxes.
thing as jinxes.
I don't believe in that shit. And the truth is, I got it at 4.5 receptions, so I had hit 2 of my 3 props already at that point in the first quarter. So that was what I was celebrating. So I wasn't jinxing anything. I was just celebrating.
Give a proper welcome to the man responsible for all of us eating last night, along with AJ Basco. And welcome to the show, back to the show on a lean Friday. Welcome, Kyle Kirms. What's up, bud?
Yo, good morning. Happy Friday. Yeah, there's a lot of comments saying because of the crazy nature of that backdoor cover, there was a lot of comments saying we didn't deserve that win.
No.
Which I'm saying, yo, if it wasn't for that pick six,
the nature of the way Kansas City even took the lead means that I feel like the game was picked exactly right. Who has a 99-yard pick six by a 7th-round corner against, one of the guys that you expect to be in the MVP running? Come on now.
Exactly. What do they even do? A no huddle, throwing the ball when your tight end can't even breathe? Like, just run the ball, man. Right. What the hell?
By the way, that's the most fantastic shirt I've ever seen, by the way, Kyle. That's a fantastic. He's a retired drug dealer.
Surprisingly accurate.
Surprisingly accurate.
Anyway, so we got Kyle on the show. Obviously, we can get right into it. Is that it for the rundown there, Broski? You got anything else?
That is it for the rundown.
Now let's switch it on into some football as we talk about last night. The Chiefs defeating the Chargers 27-24. Now, I will preface this that me and where is this guy going? Like he's like stealth Spider-Man. Me and Chris went with Kansas City last night on the show. And of course, our intern Anthony was here, A5. He took the Chargers along with Wrestling Rob. So that was the picks in the daytime. Now, when the nighttime hit, when
faded myself
where the bets were coming in, when Kyle goes in on certain things and he's just like, for him, it's like almost like a no-brainer. I'm just like, does he know things? Is he good at this? Yeah, I think he's good at this. So I switched my pick, and you did as well. And we all ate with the backdoor cover, as we were just talking about. But a couple storylines to get up into is Justin Herbert got knocked to shit yesterday a bunch of times. That dude, I don't know if you can either call him a warrior or you can call him just ignorant to the fact that you might be playing with broken ribs. But a great heroic performance out of Herbert, a great stat line, did his thing. Bro, fourth and what? Was it fourth and 2?
Heroic performance for the Chargers bettors. They didn't win, Dave. That's fucking hilarious. I mean, that's how we're looking at it. Like that 4th and 2, he's our hero. They lost the game.
Yo,
he broke his ribs.
I saw a tweet
right now. We're happy as hell.
I saw a tweet that was perfect. It said, Justin Herbert just risked his literal entire NFL future so you could cover your Chargers +4 bet.
Not wrong, bro. Not wrong. And he does that. So on the betting side of things, yes, we all won money. But when it comes to the Chiefs going 2-0, Chris, dangerous. I mean, they're scoring points that they were a little shaky a little bit yesterday because they were down for a little while. But you knew that Mahomes was going to start throwing the ball around the field. And to me, they look pretty goddamn dangerous.
The thing about the Chiefs, the games that they're supposed to lose, they have to lose. Otherwise, they're able to go on a crazy run because they've done it before. Last year, they started playing like shit. But when you get the Chiefs up against the ropes and you don't take advantage, you can't leave Pat Mahomes in the game long enough. The defense makes a play somehow, and then boom, you're down 10.
Some of these throws by Mahomes, it's just like I know it's kind of like commonplace at this point because we're all seeing it for a couple of years now. But man, the sidearm stuff, that every play that you think is a broken play in anybody else's offense, he's licking his chops. He's like, there's going to be something spectacular to come out of this play. And that just means that the receivers are coming back to the ball. Credit to those guys. Juju targeted a bunch in the first half, and it was a 0 factor in the second half. I don't know if you noticed that, but Mojo put that out there, that the target share was ridiculous for Juju Smith-Schuster. So if you're an owner of that in fantasy, I kind of question. I don't know. I don't know what to even think about when it comes to Juju. Maybe the prop beaver can shine some light on that.
I think when it comes to any Chiefs player outside of Mahomes and Kelsey, you're going to deal with a lot of up and down. Edwards-Helaire has played above his head, I think, for the first 2 games.
What about that face mask? Anybody see that shit?
Yeah.
That's like, he looks like, it looked like O.J. Simpson's face mask, to be honest with you, with a shield. It's like very narrow bars and then just a whole windshield like a car.
But any of the other pass catchers on the Chiefs, I'm kind of shying away from in any fantasy regard. And then if you want to talk Mojo, maybe the same, because I just feel like it's going to be too volatile. One guy 1 week, the next guy. Look, McKinnon blew up yesterday, and the week before it was Pacheco. So you just don't know who's going to be the guy that Andy Reid uses.
If you want to talk, as far as target share goes, AJ was over. We were editing last night during the game. Yo, I don't know the exact numbers, but I felt like Gerald Everett had 21 catches in that game every time.
Can we also agree that him changing his number to single digits made him faster? Is that a possibility?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, this dude, like, I was making jokes like, "Yo, who is this out there? Like, is that Anquan Bolden in his prime?" Like,
No,
like,
he was legitimately
So
on
true.
fire. Like the guy's got wheels.
Except
and I'm
for
like,
the one play where he was begging to come out of the game, and they were like, "No, we have to hurry up."
he's like,
bro,
I need a breather. I need a breather. No, we're running the hurry up. Stay on the field.
Didn't they also run a hurry up on that 4th and 2? Like I feel like there was like 13
There was
seconds on the play clock.
they knew exactly what
They-
play
they
they were
were-
going with, man. So, dude,
yeah, the funniest part of last night though was so in the first quarter, Mike Williams gets like 5 catches, 70 yards right away. Right, we all know that AJ's going to win his bets. He already won one of them. He's about to win the other one, and you guys retweeted him, giving him props, and he's over here freaking out like they're jinxing me. They're jinxing me. It was funny as hell.
Sorry,
He did. He
AJ.
got it.
I don't believe in any jig. And then
There was no jinx. No
bro,
jinx.
First of all, like everything, and I believe in everything that where is he going now? What's happening here?
thanks, buddy.
Oh, we've got you a coffee. What do you got? First of all, you got makeup girls and Ashley to get you wired up. And now you got a coffee
I got
guy.
my assistant. He's my break bud.
I couldn't hear Kyle. What do you mean you couldn't hear Kyle?
Oh, because he's
Oh,
in
all right.
he doesn't have.
You're right. He's in now. No, you're good. You're good, Kyle. But anyway, so yeah, good for you, man. Have a whole little entourage going on.
I
Today.
bet you
Like,
it's
here's your
cold.
coffee, sir.
Joe, warm up this coffee for me.
Can
bud?
you please cross by again and warm it up?
No.
Going
I thought
back.
you were
No,
about to.
we're good. Going back to AJ for a second, like I think it was Sean Redden in the chat who said, like, now we just need that big mother effort to score. Like, and I'm like, I don't know if he's gonna, like, let's not get too greedy. And next thing you know, the ball floats up. I'm like, that's Williams, that's Williams, that's Williams, that's Williams. Dude, first of all, fantastic catch. Like, what a catch in the end zone. Mike Williams is that dude. And I tell you right now, AJ made a great point in his analysis on Twitter. You can follow him at, I believe it's the Prop Beaver. He said that like the guys that are covering Mike Williams last night were like half his size. Like the guy was going to body and get in the way of a lot of dudes. And he did just that. Like opening drive, like, bro, like when he was catching balls, I felt like it was like those cartoons where like they're hanging on and they're just like ripping the jersey out and just hanging on for dear life. Because
like little giants. Like little giants.
Yeah, exactly.
That he did eat as much as he did in the first half because Spagnuolo did a good job on him in the second half, I thought.
Yeah,
Well,
listen, they made adjustments, but
the most impressive part is a lot of his catches, especially early, he wasn't even open. He was just
there was
bigger.
guys hanging all over him. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't even
right,
open.
a lot of red jerseys in there. And like they're even saying, like, I think it was who's the guy doing the color now? Is it Kirk Herbstreit?
Whoever it is, got
It's
a good
Herb
shot.
Street.
You don't
It's
like
Herb
him?
Street.
I liked him.
Oh man, you know what? I like Kirk a lot on
I
the
know
college
that you
game
have an
day
affinity
pregame
to
show.
college football guys, so that's probably
No,
where
but
that
I
comes
admit, like he does a great job on college game day. But calling the games, I admit that he takes a step back. He's not as good as he is on college game day.
Can we also talk about the future WWE star that Derwin James could be as he decided to lift Travis Kelce into the heavens and then slam his ass down like he was a featherweight? Like that was, and I always knew that Derwin James was that guy and he's a dog and he's a strong dude. But my man picked him up double leg takedown style and just put him in the freaking dirt.
Who would you take, Minka or Derwin James?
Oof, that's a good one.
Dude,
I think
Minka.
Minka probably makes more plays on the ball.
Wherever the football is, Minka just
I
teleports
agree.
there
He's
somehow.
like a young
I'm with that
Charles
as well.
Woodson to me.
Yeah, of course.
Weren't you guys surprised that on that body slam play you were just talking about, they didn't take a second look? Because like I really think the ball came out when he hit the ground, but it was closer than the announcers were making it seem.
It did seem very like nonchalant about it. Like they were just like, oh, that's easy. You know what I mean? Like
They didn't
that's
even give us a decent second look at it.
and not for nothing, with the NFL being the way it is lately, right? I fully expected an unnecessary roughness call. I don't know why, but I'm just like, where's the flag? Like, where? How they're gonna let him take him down like that? I love it. Trust me, it's great. It's football, but like based off of what we've seen in the last couple of years with player safety, like, dude, he literally picked them up and put them in the earth.
I think the penalty is when they do. I believe the wrestling move is a German suplex where they bring them over the back because they can land on their head.
Very good.
In that one, he had he landed straight on his back. So I agree. I thought the flag was coming too, but I think that's the actual rule.
So shout out to also Rutgers' very own Isaiah Pacheco picking up blocks like Zeke, my man. Good stuff. He actually definitely gave Mahomes a little bit more time to rock with that.
I haven't seen Scoop in the comments. Did we scare him away? Is Scoop with us today?
I have not
I
seen
haven't
Scoop
seen
in the
him once.
comments
I haven't
either.
seen
I wonder.
Scoop. Do we kick Scoop out of the group?
I mean, listen. As
Scoop
far as
did well last night. I wanted to pay.
Oh,
I
really?
wanted to pay homage. I tailed Scoop on this first half under.
The first half under was his. First half under was Scoops. I took it right from
Sean
Scoop.
on the game under because that wasn't on the sauce ticket. So I went with a little bit of everybody yesterday, and all the boys ate. So I wanted to give Scoop his due.
And he's not here. He's scared. Maybe is there soccer this weekend that he has to pick? Is there soccer this weekend?
I think so. I think it's Friday, so usually Saturday mornings are big for soccer. But I actually haven't heard
basement right now. Handicapping
Dr. Dre's dead. He's locked in my basement.
All you hear is right? He's just like got the fucking tape on his mouth.
Kyle splashes water down.
That's company policy when someone goes 1-9 in a day.
Yeah, I get it.
Remember that room you wouldn't let us in? Now we know what it's used for. It's his cages back there. Anyway, with the cats. But anyway, so before we get into the entire NFL slate, I do want to also let you guys know that this show is also being brought to you in part by our guys over at Dat Chat. Be sure to go check those guys out. That chat is also, you got the blockchain, the social media, everything those guys are doing over there. Go check them out. It's very cool. You got an app for both iPhone and you weirdos that have droids. Green texters, by the way, forget you people. I can't, I don't even respond.
I haven't heard someone call it a droid in a while.
Droid. Is that old school? Like,
I think so. I don't know.
I'm so old.
I mean, just Android in general is, but
all right. Anyway, and also steveaspari.com for the website work. He's the man over there. He is a web developer, and our friends down the hall at Lowell's making all of our fun stuff that we're going to be giving away at Matawan Day. So yeah, those are that. And of course, for Manscaped,
if you head on over to Manscaped, you get 20% off a pair of clean shaven balls with the promo code ShopSports.
You say that it's like we're getting balls actually sent to our house.
Well, no, I think everybody gets the play on words here. So it's a nice clean set. All you need to know is 20% off promo code ShopSports. We're gonna get right into these leans though.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh wait,
do you want? I have some college bets too. Do you want to do that at the end?
All the leans.
Save those for the end. We'll definitely slap some of those.
But the link will be out for the Survivor Reviver pool today. So if anybody that got pasted in week 1,
are we getting our retry?
I don't know. I haven't actually spoke to him.
Okay. Isn't he in Colombia now? Now we're not going to know.
He is in Colombia, but I could just text his brother.
All right.
It's all good.
Yeah, let's find out if we get a.
So be on the lookout if you're looking to maybe make some money.
All right. As far as the records going into week 2, disregard because we've had some troubles here. I am 4-13 sitting there in last place against the spread from last week's picks. However, I will preface this. I changed a lot of those picks on game day after the Sauce releases his VIP ticket. So I faded myself plenty and was fine. So I'm not broke. I'm not living in the street. I'm fine. Rob gets back on the winning side of things with last night's win. He's a solid 5-12. He'll be also digging himself
I feel like that's the Jets record this year, and that might be the Cowboys record this year.
Wow. We're taking shots. Okay. And Chris whopping over there at an 8-9 under 500.
Also probably the Packers record this year. So we're all on par.
And I have to give credit where credit's due, even though Kyle was the one to say sack up and bet the whole thing. A5 is 2-0. So back-to-back Thursday nights. He's hitting.
Okay, I should clarify. I didn't mean everyone should be betting the whole slate. Everyone's bankroll is different. Everyone's in a different position financially.
But real men.
I meant like if you're only picking 2 games, don't compare your record to ours. You know what I mean? Like, because
no, I was just giving him his flowers. I was just trying to make him.
He deserves 0 flowers. 0 flowers.
Zero flowers.
Not even one.
Not even one flower. Not even a singular flower. All right, let's get into it, guys. All right, let's start with the locals, ladies and gentlemen. It is the New York Football Jets visiting the Cleveland Browns under Jacoby Brissett. And somehow, some way, Vegas thinks that Jacoby Brissett is worth a 6.5-point spread here. They are the favorites. The money line is obviously on the Jets with the plus 210. The over-under sitting at 39.5. So clearly, people think nobody's going to fucking score in this game. I'll start with Kyle if you have thoughts about the fact that Joe Flacco is getting the call one more again.
Well, I'm not going to give out my pick for this game, but I will say there's a lot of money coming in on the Jets. The books are taking a lot of Jets money. This line opened at 5.5 and then moved to 6.5, which is a reverse line movement. That looks trappy. I mean, it seems like everyone's betting the Jets, and the books are like, "Go ahead, yeah, keep betting the Jets. Here, take an extra point."
Wow,
that's what it seems like. So just that alone. Now, me and AJ tonight will really dive into these numbers, and so things are subject to change. But that alone, it has me laying the 6.5 with Cleveland before I even start.
All right, Gooch, how you feeling about this one, bro? And write these down, Rob.
I got
All
it
right.
right here,
With
yeah.
the spreads too.
Mhm.
I think that the things that Cleveland does well, the Jets are going to struggle with up front and on the back end. They're really good getting to the quarterback, and they have good corners. I think that's just going to be hell for the Jets. And Flacco, he can't stretch the field at all. Elijah Moore is apparently on his way to looking good in practice, but he doesn't have the supporting cast around him to actually succeed. Need Zach back to see what the Jets are all about. Until then, it's not going to be good. That's
right.
my take on the Jets and
Cleveland.
Okay.
Yeah. I, for one, and obviously I was a believer in the Jets with Zach Wilson at the helm. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows I had him going 5-0 with Zach Wilson. Then he goes down. The wheels completely fall off. And now the Jets kind of look like a piss poor team again. Robert Saleh's got a lot of explaining to do if he goes 0-2. I'm telling you right now, because he is not off to a good start as a coach. For that reason, and that reason alone, I don't think Joe Flacco is the quarterback the entire game. I don't think so. If they don't get off the ground running, Mike White will be brought into this game, and the Jets will try to keep it close. I'm going to go with the Jets on the show. We'll find out what I do on Sunday. But for this, I'm taking the Jets plus 6.5 because I think there's a little bit of a boost. I'm not saying Mike White's a world beater. I'm not saying he's any good. I'm saying he can do a little bit better than Joe Flacco did last week. And again, Joe Flacco, let's pretend that he has won a Super Bowl. I think he's won an MVP, right? So like the guy is definitely capable. I know he's getting older.
The league MVP?
No, a Super Bowl MVP.
Okay.
And the whatchamacall, I lost my train of thought. No. What I was saying is Joe Flacco's capable. The weather was dog shit last week for the Jets. So maybe, just maybe, they get off to a little bit better. Michael Carter does his thing. Maybe a little bit more of Breece Hall this week. Maybe a little bit of Elijah Moore. I don't like the Jets to get blown out here.
We're going to get
with
a
the
lot
Jets.
more Nick Chubb this week.
I will say a positive for the Jets that you if you're betting the Jets this weekend, something that you have to feel good about is a lot of people are expecting Baltimore to just bully the Jets around, run the ball right in between the tackles. That's not what happened in that game at all. The Ravens beat the hell out of them, but they didn't do it in the fashion that we were expecting. And that's how Cleveland wins games. They slam it between the tackles with Chubb. And if the Ravens couldn't do it, you know what? Maybe the Browns struggle to do it too. So I do see some positive talking points for the Jets for sure.
I think the counter to that point might be, though, is that the Ravens were more equipped than the Browns to do it in other ways. So they said, you know what? Let's not attack them where we might struggle a little bit, where Cleveland may have less options. So it's really going to be a battle of who could do it better, who's going to execute.
Agreed.
In this case, like the Browns offensive line.
Rob, are you going to be a homer this week or what?
I'm taking the Jets, man. They outrushed and outthrew Baltimore last week. Their defense is going to play hard. I agree with you. I hope we see Mike White in the second half because Flacco's the downfall right now until Zach comes back.
All right. Well, there you go. There are the picks or at least some picks for that one. Staying local, the New York Football Giants coming off their historic 1-0 start because it's been a long time since the Giants have been over 500. They're currently over 500. They're back at home for their home opener against the Carolina Panthers, who are coming off a tragic loss to the Cleveland Browns. Baker couldn't get it done. The Giants are favored here. I mean, look, just based off of what I know, I would say that when the home team is home, if it's just an even match, sometimes the home team gets 3. They're only getting 2. So clearly this one's going to be a little closer, I think. The money line is obviously on the Panthers. The over-under sitting at 43.5, which is, again, quite low. So we'll start with Sauce if you want to comment about the New York G-Men coming into their 1-0 historic start. Oh, unmute him, dude. I don't know why he's muted.
I didn't mute him. Hold on.
He might have muted himself.
No, I muted because there's things going on in the background here.
Gotcha.
So in my opinion, this is the second most difficult game to bet of the week. The first one, I think, is a complete coin flip, is Dolphins Ravens. Like literally flip a coin. I have no idea. And this I would rank second hardest. I will say that the Panthers are taking a lot of money, and the books reacted to it because this one was 2.5 as recent as yesterday. It's down to 1.5 now. So the books are taking Panthers money and reacting to it. So maybe they like the Panthers. Really not much to go off of there. To me, the numbers I wanted to look at tonight when AJ gets here is how the Giants' offensive and defensive line fared against the Titans' offensive and defensive line. I'd like to see the numbers on that. I really want to know, did the Giants beat the Titans or did the Titans lose to the Giants? If that makes sense. So I really need to dive deeper in that. This one, I don't know. It'll be on YouTube tomorrow night. We got to get to the drawing board. I got you.
Shout out to everybody watching the show right now. Please do us a favor, like the video. I saw a comment by Rashad White coming back, says loves this show. Appreciate you, bro.
Not the Tampa Bay Buccaneers,
and not the Tampa Bay Buccaneers backup running back. White. But he did play. If this is the same guy, I think he played ball at Michigan State, right? That's the same guy.
That's what he said. Yeah.
Yep,
See, I remember things. I remember people there. All right, Gooch, where are you going here? G-Man going 2-0, bro?
I think they're going to go 2-0.
I
I just don't believe in Baker, and this is maybe a little bit of my bias coming in here. I don't believe in him. I do like DJ Moore. I like a few of the other things, Christian McCaffrey and Saquon. It's nice to see these two guys back in action and potentially being, over the injuries that set them back for the last couple seasons. So that's kind of a cool story. Side note. As far as the Giants went last week, I think it's going to be hard to decipher how that game went because as far as who won it, if you look at the first half, the Giants got dominated on both sides. And then you look at the second half, they dominated both sides. So it might end up being fairly even. It was a tight finish as it was. Tannehill made some mistakes in the end. Daniel Jones made his mistake, but he didn't waver down the stretch.
Fat bastard Bullock missed the field goal.
The advantage here is the MetLife is going to be crazy. It's going to be the craziest it's been for a Giants game in like 3 years because they have a little bit of hope, and this is a winnable football game in their home opener. Saquon's back. The defense is playing well. Kayvon Thibodeau, he's looking like he's going to play, and I think he might give a little bit of life to that defense. Carolina's offensive line, what are they looking like? Didn't they get banged up a little bit last week? Baker had 4 fumbles.
Myles Garrett was all over them, but
I know
that's
it's a different
Garrett
defensive line. I know that, but I just like the Giants in this one, building off the energy, and I really like their head coach.
All right. I'm going to say that the New York Football Giants will go 2-0. They're going to win this game. And I think it's going to be on the performance of a Saquon Barkley again. Last week, we saw something that no tenure has done for the Giants, and that's look at Daniel Jones and yell at him and saying, are you fucking kidding me with that pass? You know what I mean? Like there's Brian Daboll. There was moments where Brian Daboll had now 2 moments, right? 2 moments that stick out. And you look across the street to Robert Saleh, he hasn't had any moments, and he's had 22 games. Brian Daboll in his first game yelled at Daniel Jones for being bad at football, and then went for 2 and won the game. So, like, this team is riding a high. That Giants crowd is, listen, I've been there a million times for Giants-Cowboys games, and while sometimes I feel like there's more Cowboys fans in the crowd, when the Giants fans get rowdy, they get rowdy. I like Baker Mayfield. I think he's still going to be good with the Panthers and better statistically with the Panthers. However, I'm riding the momentum here, and I'm going to take the Giants minus the 2. I don't like it. I hate it. I actually despise it, and I'll wait for the sauce, the sauce's VIP ticket, to see where I actually go with this one, but I'm leaning New York Giants. Rob.
Chris, you're taking the Giants, right?
Yeah.
The thing that scares me about the Giants is their secondary. I think it's terrible, maybe like one of the worst in the league. But Saquon led the NFL in rushing last week.
Mm-hmm.
It was the Saquon everybody wanted to see.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think we're going to get that again this week. And like you said, with the Jets, with Mike White coming in, when are we going to see Tyrod Taylor? It's going to happen eventually.
It's going to be a way longer.
I think the leash is longer. Yeah,
not if they're winning. I mean, like you said, nobody's really yelled at Daniel Jones before, but Daboll also knows that Tyrod Taylor knows how to move this offense better than Jones can right now.
He probably knows the offense better. Yeah. I think he may have worked with Daboll in the past.
Yeah, Buffalo.
Yeah. So for that regard, I think that's just it makes him a real safe backup if in the event that Daniel Jones goes down. But I don't think there's really risk for Jones.
Rashad, no more ties, bro. Ties are horrible. It's like Rashad thinks
what's up with week 1 ties all the time.
Yeah, seriously, what's that all about? All right, so we're all on the Giants, and we'll see what Kyle says later on.
There we go.
Moving on to a big spread here. There's 3 games that I saw that have 10-point spreads, which is a little ridiculous in week 2. So it's a testament to see what these teams are out of 1 week of football. We just watched the Texans roll with the Colts, right? Like they actually competed with the Colts, and now they're going on the road to go against Russell Wilson, who just lost to the Seahawks, and now the Broncos are favored by 10. So the 10-point spread, it's a heavy money line. Minus 500 on the money line. Like this, it just seems like they're thinking this is a Russ Wilson revenge all of a sudden. A pissed off Russell Wilson might cook. The over-under set at 46. Sauce, you got anything about Russell Wilson on games coming off of games that he's lost?
Oh, I don't have anything on that. But see, I think this is a perfect game where the books are just poised to clean out the public here because everyone is rushing to bet Houston. I'm almost definitely laying the 10 with Denver here. It's a matter of So the Broncos last week, they lost 17-16. They had first and goal 3 times and got 3 total points from
Very
those.
true.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
So, like, if they score touchdowns on those drives, they win the game by 3 scores.
Yeah.
I think the Broncos look way better than what the scoreboard said they did last week.
I agree, 100%.
And I think the Colts made the Texans look way better than they actually are.
So the Colts
last
down to the Texans.
Yes. I think this point spread should be, I mean, like, I would lay anything 13.5 or lower because I really think blowout.
Wow. Okay. Gooch, you feeling the same way?
Yeah, I'm back on Denver. I was a little off from last week, and I was right to be. But, yeah, Javonte is going to eat. They're going to – Russell Wilson, just to clarify, Russell Wilson has never been pissed off a day in his life. So I don't know what you're talking about with the pissed off Russ. But, yeah, it's Javonte Williams country. Dave, you going to ride? We going to ride? He's going to ride. Broncos are going to ride. I'm definitely laying the 10. I actually might manipulate this a little bit and go alt. Maybe I will do the 13.5 and juice it a little bit.
Yeah, from what I gather from like what I saw with the Colts actually almost came back and won that game. So the Texans actually almost gave it all away. I do like the Texans. I do like what they've been doing and what they're trying to build over there with Davis Mills and all that stuff. But I again, while Russ, Mr. Unlimited, isn't really he doesn't get upset or mad or anything. He's like one.
I feel like he's pretty limited in the red zone.
And last week was limited in the red zone, but this time he won't be. Javonte's going to eat. I predict maybe a Cortland Sutton and a Jerry Jeudy touchdown. This one, and even say it. Go ahead. Who's the tight end?
It's actually wrong.
What?
I was wrong.
It's not even pronounced that way.
It's not.
Not even close.
I'm not going to do it.
Wow,
All
Dude,
right.
you were so proud of yourself for nailing it.
Yeah, dude, that was wow. All right. In any event, the Broncos are going to eat. I think they cover this number. Rob,
I'm down a lot in the poll here, so I'm getting a 10's a lot.
10 is a lot. Listen, I don't like double point spreads. That's just not my style. But
So yeah, I'm gonna Mills Mafia, baby.
I love
All
laying
the
the
way.
wood. I love laying heavy NFL spreads. I know it's weird, but when it's like a lopsided thing, it's just easier for me.
all right, moving on to the Las Vegas Raiders, who dropped last week in tragic efforts. And I know Joey D's in the house right now waiting for these picks, if he's even with us at this point. Just look, yep, all right. He's with us. He's nodding.
I think he's on like a delay, maybe.
Oh, maybe, but in any event, maybe a backdoor lean in country. Oh, that's funny. In any event, moving on to the Raiders, who are 5.5 point favorites at home. The Arizona Cardinals, obviously, they played, they had a run with Mahomes last week, so it wasn't very fun for them. Their defense didn't look that good. I don't know. This one's 51.5, so there's going to be some scoring. I'll start with Kyle, obviously. Any way, shape, and form you're leaning on this.
So we got nothing to go by here. The money is pretty split down split down the middle. Line's been at 5.5 all week. So there's no angles here. It's literally just football, handicapping and pick. So I really want to dive into the numbers on this one, but I will say that I think this is too big of a number. I'm probably leaning Arizona. The Raiders last week, they almost came back and covered, but that I watched that entire game, every single play, and the Chargers controlled that game. The Raiders made this huge stop on 4th and inches on like the 50, where if they don't stop them there, they go into halftime, and it could be 24-3 Chargers. And then the stop happened, and then they got like the Chargers won 24-19, but in reality, that was a 2-score victory. So I think the Raiders are a bit overvalued. And then at the same time, the Cardinals kind of got hit with not only just injuries, but like just their Achilles heel. Their weakness is pass defense. It was the same thing last year. And they're weak against the pass, and then they open up against Mahomes. So a little bit of bad luck as well as
but now they got to deal with Devontae, bro.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that like the Cardinals don't suck. I'm just saying I think people are. I'm just saying people are way down on them right now.
Gotcha.
Like they're just undervalued, is I think. So I probably will take the points.
All right, Gooch.
I think that if I wait a little bit, this one's going to be a little bit less, and then I start to like the Raiders a lot more because I do think that the later money is going to come in because people will be afraid to lay that big of a number. And I'm probably going to stay away from this one in reality until I see the money go, unless it moves in my favor and I could get the Raiders at like 4.5. I'm not sure because there hasn't been any movement whatsoever. But I will say, to the point, Derek Carr didn't play well either last week. He made really bad throws. If he could just play better, the game would have been closer than it was. While you say that big stop that did take place, and it definitely altered the game in a big way, but so do those turnovers. So I think that the Raiders are a little bit better offensively than they played last week, and the Cardinals might just be bad. You know, they really struggle. They don't have any guy on the outside that has size whatsoever. Everybody's small. Rondale Moore, is he even back good to go?
It's always Rondale Moore season. You know that.
Yeah, unless he's not playing.
It doesn't matter. It's still Rondale Moore season.
I also feel like James Conner, he's a 3.3 yards per carry at best. You know, he's not the guy. I'm not a big believer in James Conner unless you get down low. The Raiders secondary does suck, but I'm going to go with Derek Carr on this one. I'm going to hopefully the line moves a little bit, and I'm going to take the Raiders for my boy Joe. Not for my boy Joe, but he's sitting right here. I couldn't pick against him.
You could.
Him in
you
the
definitely
room.
could.
No, I would. I have.
Stimmy OG checking in. Rondale Moore looks like he's out Dortch season, according to AJ Bascone. I'm with you, Gooch, on this one. I think that outside of a couple bad, ugly passes out of Derek Carr, they could have ate a little bit more last week. A lot left on the bone. Devontae Adams is obviously just returns to form. So, like, I don't think that that's going to be an issue at all. I feel like this is not a layup as far as Arizona didn't. They drew the Chiefs week 1, right? And you're like, oh, God, what a luck. But now they draw Devontae Adams in week 2. I don't think
coming off of a loss, too. That's
so, like,
why I think the Raiders are going to be playing desperate as well. And look, they had a chance to win that game. It could have been a two-score victory, but the Raiders almost won. They had the ball with a minute to go, right? They had a shot.
Right.
So
I'm going to ride with the Raiders as well for Break Bud Joey over here. I'm going to lay it. I'm going to lay that as well. Rob.
Raiders. We're going to go Raiders. We're going to go quick here.
Okay. Raiders is the quick pick. All right. So another massive spread. Is this justified? We had the Falcons play some good football last week. They didn't look too shitty. Okay. And now the Rams, coming off of a loss on opening night against the Bills, stay home. So they'll be playing a second home game in a row. Nobody has a goddamn clue as to what's going to happen as far as their running back situation with Cam Akers and Henderson and everybody else involved there. The spread is 10. The over-under is 46.5. I feel like there's going to be some points scored here. The money line is heavy, favoring the Los Angeles Rams. How are you feeling about this one, Sauce?
Another game where all the money's on the underdog here. People are hammering the Falcons. I like that. I feel like as a whole, the public as a whole is more educated as far as making their bets. If you rewind as recent as 5 years ago, the money's on the favorite in almost every single game.
Yeah.
Now people know, like, underdogs cover usually 51% every single year. So underdogs usually have the slight edge as far as coverage. So I like to see it. I also like to see it because it gives me the opportunity to go sharp and take the favorite. I'm not saying that's what I'm doing in this game. In fact, at first glance, I was like, I think I have to take 10. Like, I don't know what. Stafford looked hurt. I mean, he was horrible. He was horrible in that game.
Bad. Yeah.
But Buffalo is really good.
Buffalo's going to be in the Super Bowl, according to some people out there, including myself. So it's like the Rams had them. You talk about Arizona drawing a tough deal in week 1. The Rams, the Super Bowl champions, drew a tough deal in a Buffalo team. And now it seems like it's going to be a little bit of a cupcake ski. I don't know. That's the way I'm leaning on this one as well. I think
I would take sorry to cut you off. I would take the two running backs for Rams. I would pick one, read The Athletic, find out who's getting more touches this week and take their over, because I think that's what McVay will do. The Falcons have AJ Terrell and Casey Hayward at corners, maybe the best cornerback combination in the NFL. So with Stafford looking weak in week 1, he's going to be like, yo, we have the better team. Let's just grind out a win here. Yeah. Which makes me really look at that plus 10, honestly.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
We'll see. Gooch, you feeling any sort of way?
Yeah, AJ Terrell didn't give up a touchdown in like his entire career at all levels until last week, where Michael Thomas, of all people, in his first game
twice
in 15 years, scored twice on him. I don't think that that's really going to be the norm, but I wouldn't say it's exactly an anomaly either. He's playing with some bad guys surrounding him. I would say that he's not going to get people throwing at him as often as they did last week. And Casey Hayward, eventually the wheels have to come off, right? Father Time's undefeated. He's been playing good football, but he's been in good situations. This is not a good situation. So he might eventually start getting exposed. And that might have happened last week a little bit too. The Rams, they're a really good team. I question their physicality, and that's been their issue in the last couple of seasons. Mm-hmm. But they're just loaded. How do the Falcons match up? I don't care if they grind it out. They might bust a couple touchdown runs off, like deep ones. I think the Rams are I'm laying it in the first half and in the game this one.
Yeah, I'm going to side with the Rams as well. I think this is a little bit more of a we're pissed off that the people might be writing us off after 1 week because they lost to a really good Bills team. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored in this one in favor. You might even see Atlanta score first. And you're like, "Oh God." And I just laid 10. Now I got to lay 17 or whatever the case may be. I think that's a strong comeback effort. I think this is just going to be ugly. I don't like anybody covering Cooper Kupp in this game. I think he's going to feast. Give me the Rams all day. Rob.
I was. Oh, sorry, Rob. I was just going to say, if the Falcons do score first, I'll be looking at that live Rams -6 line. I'll tell you that.
Oh, hell yeah. I know Joey D will. There's no doubt about that.
Moving on to the San Francisco 49ers, another interesting game here because the Niners are going home after being in the monsoon last week in Chicago and losing that game. The Seahawks are coming off this historic Geno Smith performance, and all of a sudden people are like, oh, look at the Seahawks. They might be able to win some games. Then you see Vegas come out here and say, hold on, the 49ers are 8.5-point favorites here. The over-under is 41.5, so they're not even expecting a lot of scoring here, but they are expecting Seattle to pretty much do nothing. If you think, look at that spread of it almost being 9 and then the over-under being so short, I feel like they're going to say the 49ers defense is just going to completely dominate this game. What do you think, Kyle?
Well, yeah, pretty spot on. So I mean, we know who Geno Smith is. He has mentally become a better quarterback, but we know his skill set. We know what he does. Money slightly leaning San Francisco, 69%. I think we're going to see Geno Smith fumble 2, maybe 3 times in this game. Because what is the new Geno Smith is he doesn't throw interceptions, and he doesn't. He's right. It makes smarter decisions. He also holds on to the football too long. And Nick Bosa is coming, and I think you're going to see a pissed off Kyle Shanahan-led 49ers team. I think blowout.
You got Eli Mitchell missing this game as well. He's going to miss a little bit of time. And now a couple of the Niners guys in this game, AJ's saying it, and so is Tony Benevento. They're saying they're calling for rain in San Francisco. Like, holy
that
shit.
does not matter.
Like, what is...
You got to be joking.
Look what happened in this one. In this one, they are going to abuse Seattle.
Wait, hold on. Is it rain or is it torrential Chicago rain? Because that was some different shit.
That was some different shit. Like, you couldn't even... Like, there was some parts of the broadcast where I'm like, I can't see anything. So, it was an ugly, ugly game. So, obviously, Kyle thinks the Niners are going to do some work.
A lot of things had to go the Seahawks' way last week for them to get that victory. And they only won by a point. We talked about the fumbles, the 3 trips to the 1-yard line that resulted in 3 points. Geno Smith played the best half of his life. You name it. It all went their way, and they only won by a point. The 49ers, on the contrary, everything went against them, right? And they played really good in the first half. They were up. I was feeling good about laying the points, and then the torrential downpour. A lot like how our season ended against them last year, where at halftime it just opened up and then things changed. I don't see it. There's no 12th man in this one. The 49ers, they're coming off of an embarrassing loss. They're not going 0-2, and they're going to come out firing early. Trey Lance might have 100 yards and 2 touchdowns rushing if it rains, so be careful.
I like that because as a fantasy owner playing the sauce this week, by the way, I would love Trey Lance to take off.
I might fade Joe Burrow and start Trey Lance in this because of
how about
rushing.
That? So I'm all precipitation.
Fucking
that's
weatherman.
Yeah, right. AJ's out there. Can you imagine? I am El Nino.
Let me tell you about the high pressure cold air coming in from the northwest.
I too am on the 49ers on this one. I think they're going to be coming out pissed off. I don't care who's running the ball, whether it be Trey Lance or any of their 15 running backs they have on their roster. Plus,
Tyrion Davis-Price, TDP, bro.
Trust me, heavy dose of Debo this week. I think Debo's getting that ball in his hand a lot. And I don't like Seattle in this one at all. I think they definitely had a great feel-good story. They knocked the shit out of a lot of people in survivor pools, but the fun stops. It's San Francisco. They win this game. Rob?
Niners.
All right. Niners.
Here's a big one.
All right. So here's the one that's tripping me up all week long. And it looks like Kyle is representing those in Boston.
Possible bet of the day. Possible bet of the day.
The New England Patriots visit the Pittsburgh Steelers here. And the Patriots, after their piss-poor performance last week against the Dolphins, are favored on the road against a team who won their respective game. Make this make sense, Kyle, please.
Oh, it's simple. It's simple. So the Steelers did not win in week 1. The Bengals lost. No. The Steelers did in week 1. Win in week 1. Joe Burrow turned the ball over 5 times, and TJ Watt won. TJ Watt's out now. And you saw, as soon as he left the game, the whole game changed. All of a sudden, Cincinnati's moving the ball pretty easily. He was a one-man wrecking crew, and he's out. I think the Steelers are insanely overvalued right here, and I don't think people realize how good Miami is, not to mention just how good they are against the Patriots. I think Tua's 4-0 against Belichick now. Fucking nuts.
Like that.
It's fucking crazy. So, yeah, I think like buy low, sell high. I think the Steelers stock is super high, higher than it should be, and the Patriots stock is super low. I love the Patriots here.
You taking any account into the fact that Mac Jones is a little banged up?
I don't even care. I mean, the Steelers had the worst. I think they finished at 31st. Rush defense efficiency last year. I don't think Belichick even plans on using Mac Jones.
So this is the weirdest line of the whole week to me because of what you just said. The Patriots at an all-time low and the Steelers are at an all-time high. This is literally the trap of a fucking century. Because I honestly think the Patriots looked like garbage. And I didn't watch the entire Steelers game, but they looked like they made plays and Minka is on the field. So that's the one thing that changes everything to me. It is so strange, though. I feel like the Steelers have the better players all up and down.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference is I think Mike Tomlin kind of sucks as a head coach. And
What?
Belichick, I don't think he's that good.
Guy's
as a
never
head
had a
coach.
losing season ever.
Agreed. I hate Tomlin.
I know you.
Well, I don't hate.
Tomlin.
I don't hate him. I just think he's overrated.
I think that he's a bit overrated. I think he could be. They could move on from him, and they would probably be better.
Oof. All right. Well, obviously you're leaning
Hold on,
aware
but before you guys make your picks, I want to ask you guys. The Cincinnati Bengals had 5 turnovers. If the turnover battle was 0-0, what do you think the final score of the Bengals-Steelers game was?
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good point. Very good point.
But the Bengals have Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Boyd, Mixon. They have a lot more weapons than the Patriots are bringing to the table. And this game is in Pittsburgh.
So you're on the Steelers?
I'm not sure.
Honestly, are you leaning Steelers?
I'm leaning Steelers.
Okay. I'm going to sit here and tell you.
It is fishy. It's like terribly scary.
Listen, I've been saying it for the entire offseason as we've been previewing this entire NFL. The Patriots, when you look at them on paper, they're not good. They have some players. They do. Harris is good sometimes. Mac Jones, we saw what he could do last year, but there's so small sample size there. They're not good. And their defensive coordinator is calling the offensive play. They are a mess in New England. And I don't care what you say about this. I'm taking Pittsburgh all day. And I think this is Najee Harris. If he says he's going to go, he's going to go. And he's going to run that rock. The Miami Dolphins didn't show much of a running game last week. So we don't even know what the Patriots are going to do against the run. I like the Steelers here. I do. I wholeheartedly. The line is weird for me. I'm not saying the Steelers are going to be world beaters.
Though.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He's not. Mitch Trubisky is not going to lose this game for the Steelers.
Well,
they're not going to lose this game. For
the only
Steelers.
reason why
they keep this shit conservative enough.
Lose the game for them last
grind
week
this out. I'm also
Joe Burrow.
The 40.5 is a very small number. I'm still snapping the under here. I don't think there's going to be a lot of points scored, but I do like the Steelers to beat the Patriots this week. Rob,
I agree. I think we're going to see the Steelers come out and smash them up, and this is another game like we talked about the Jets and the Giants where Kenny Pickett could come in by halftime.
Shout out to Kyle.
I don't think that's what
doing double time,
double duty. He's
like
actually comments and in the actual live show,
arguing
fantastic.
With
just getting mad at people
himself.
Yeah, right. I want to say, look, you're right. In regards to the Kenny Pickett switch, I don't think that happens. Not until they look like shit. I'm telling you right now.
Well, they look like shit.
Last week,
but they won the game. You guys are missing the point.
I agree.
Like if they lost that game to Cincinnati after the Bengals gave them 5 turnovers and all that shit, then you can say like, oh my god, are we ever gonna win a game with Mitch Trubisky?
The minute the
they
veterans
won the game, bro.
The
I'm sorry.
The vets start looking over around and they're like, the fuck are we doing with this guy still? Then it's gonna change.
I don't know, man. All right, give me the Steelers. Oh, you said Steelers too, Rob, right?
Chris, what are you doing?
He said he's leaning Steelers.
But
you have to write down Steelers on this show.
Unless I see bet of the week at the top of the ticket, I'm staying away from this game.
So, speaking of a team that has a little bit of hope, they lost a close one last week. The Jacksonville Jaguars get home to play the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts obviously coming in with no wins because they tied like weirdos. And this line is 3.5. The Colts are on the road and they're favored. So another situation where the road team is the favorite. The Jaguars, I don't know if they showed you enough, Kyle, to kind of side with them a little bit, make Scoop feel a little bit at ease. I don't know. How do you feel about this one?
All right. So I have some funny things to share about this one. You guys are going to like this. So,
okay.
And these are credit to AJ Bascone when we did our notes last night. So ready for this? So remember last week how We talked about how the Colts haven't won a week 1 game in 8 years, and now it's 9 years since they won a week 1 game. Get this. So
they haven't won in Jacksonville either.
7 years they haven't won. They 7 straight losses in Jacksonville. Since 2019, Jacksonville Jaguars as a franchise only have 7 home wins. 3 of them are against the Colts. It gets better. So the Jags record against the Titans and Texans is a combined 5-27 in their last 32 games against them. Against the Colts, 8-5 in their last 13.
Yeah, like the Peyton Manning Colts. They were
right.
It was
Dude,
like Blake Bortles beating up on Peyton Manning.
Dude, the Jags are just the Colts' daddy, and I think the Colts are just cursed. I think the Colts are cursed. Honestly,
right, so that's where he's leaning. At least in this one,
I can't bet the Colts. The numbers tell me I should bet the Colts. I can't because they're truly cursed.
You with the Jaguars as well?
I mean, it's like how could you not lay the money? How could you not sprinkle something on the money line? Half a unit right here. It's I feel like it's a guarantee.
Yeah. Oh, so there's another one more. It was, and I didn't write this one down. So it was, but I remember it. The Jags average 19.6 points a game in the last 6 years, I think it was, against every other team in the NFL. Against the Colts, they average 27.1 points.
There you go.
Over a touchdown more a game against the Colts.
Unbelievable. Rashad White coming in with a final score of 27-20. So he thinks the 27 number is going to slap.
In the over. He's giving out the Jags in the over.
Man, oh man, I'm taking the Jaguars as well. I thought they were going to win last week on the road in Washington, and I think they're going to show a little bit more promise than they did last week. So they were on the cusp of a victory last week. Now you got the Colts reeling off a tie, and I'm not saying they lost, but they should have played better last week. And I think that Matt Ryan's in for a little bit of a long day in Florida. Give me the Jaguars here, Rob.
Jaguars.
All right, Jaguars.
Yeah, when you're looking at Matt Ryan is not the guy to like break the curse.
Yeah, right.
He's just not, or whatever you want to call it.
All right, we're going to the Dome, and the New Orleans Saints are hosting Tom Brady, coming off a big win over the Dallas Cowboys last week. The line here is Tampa Bay and Tom Brady are 2.5-point favorites heading into the Dome. The Dome is one of the hardest places to play. I don't care who you are. So does that play a factor into this one at all, Kyle? Do you believe in Jameis to get it done? And look, let's also say, and this is probably taking maybe one of your talking points away, the Saints have played very well against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the last couple of years.
Yeah, I actually wasn't going to mention that, but yeah, they have. I'm on Tampa Bay here. Not crazy about it. I hate that they dropped the line from 3 down to 2.5 on Tuesday. Because when you move from 5.5 to 4.5, it's like whatever. 5 isn't that frequent of a margin of victory. But when you move off 3, that's like the books making a statement. That's almost like them showing their hand, like, we like the Saints. So that scares me. But I think I've been saying it since the Bucs signed Akeem Hicks. I think that's the best defense in the NFL. That's another reason why I think Cowboys as a whole are overreacting, Cowboys fan media as a whole, because I think that's the best defense in the NFL. And I'm going to ride with the defense. Not that I really hate on Jameis, and I know I think the Saints defense also takes a step forward. I think them getting lit up by Atlanta was an outlier, a fluke. But still, I like the Bucs defense better than everything else in this game.
Coach?
Tom Brady on the road is definitely a different quarterback the last couple seasons. So, and specifically in the Dome, they've done very poorly outside of that playoff game that I think that they annihilated them. But I think Tom Brady has lost to Trevor Siemian in New Orleans last year in the game that Jameis went down. So that gives me a little trepidation going into this one. But like Kyle said, it's the defense. They hit hard, man. Like they fly all over the field and there's stars scattered all over it. Even the guys that aren't great, they get made look so much better because they're so talented and they have a willingness to like get after it. And as far as the coaching staff goes, that's going to be a lot for Jameis to deal with. He's banged up. He's dealing with an injury that, put him out for the season last year, and he's already kind of hurt. I think that
knee
he's
bone's connected to his leg bone. His leg bone's connected to his elbow.
He's going to be running for his life back there.
Yeah. After what I saw vividly watching the Dallas Cowboys lose to that defense in particular because they couldn't do a damn thing. And that was with Dak Prescott for the 75 to 80% of that game, if not 85% of that game. Then you bring in Cooper Rush, and he laced them in there a couple times, but that Tampa Bay defense is something special. I think that after that game where the Cowboys are the only team in the NFL to not score a touchdown, which is just fucking disheartening by itself. But going into this game, you kind of like the Saints coming off that game against the Atlanta Falcons. However, I agree with Gooch in the regard of Tampa Bay is going to give a little bit more than Jameis Winston can handle. And don't get me wrong, I think that the Saints offense could be very good this year when they get rolling, but they're coming into a buzzsaw right now. The Tampa Bay Buck defense is too much. I'm leaning towards and probably going to pick Tampa Bay and Tom Brady. Rob?
It's going to be a close one, but I think Jameis is going to eat a W. And the Saints are going to pull it out.
All right. I like it. Pick the Saints. Now, for the first time in 24 games, the Detroit Lions are favored, ladies and gentlemen. They are not. What are we going to do not being able to take a backdoor cover?
For the first time in my entire Chop Sports tenure, there is no chance at a backdoor cover for the Detroit Lions.
So the Detroit Lions coming in here 1.5 point favorites over the abysmal, piss poor poverty franchise known as the Washington Commanders. The Commanders squeaked by last week against the Jaguars. The Lions played very, very well against the Eagles, who are everybody's touting to be one of the better teams in the NFC, if not the NFL. I'm so into this game. I love this game.
In this
what?
one.
Oh my God!
The Commanders
Kyle, you start. But go ahead.
Well, before I even this is one where me and AJ might not even look at the number. Well, we have to because we have to put out a video. But the line movement's telling me to bet Washington free and clear here. It was 2.5. 92% of the money was on Detroit. This is on Tuesday.
This is my
92%.
This is my
everyone was on Detroit. Now, just a little bit of a shift. So now it's 77% of the money on Detroit. So a little chunk of Washington money came in. Books dropped that shit immediately. 2.5, 2, 1.5. So obviously shit happens, and that's not a bet your life on it type of thing. But when I see that, I will bet it 99.9% of the times. So yeah, I'm definitely on Washington here, 100%.
Off of the Lions.
No, Gooch, go ahead. Go ahead. Are you all in on Washington too?
I'm all in on Washington. Carson Wentz to Curtis Samuel all day, early and often. Nobody's even talking about McLaurin. Right?
As they shouldn't be right now because whatever. The story is Jahan Dotson last week for the Redskins.
Exactly. And the story this week is going to be Terry McLaurin.
All right. Well, the story this week is going to be very, very similar to last week. Now, last week, a lot of people were jumping all over the Jaguars running game because James Robinson did his thing, right? So it looks like Washington was susceptible against the run. Another guy that had an amazing game last week was DeAndre Swift and Jamal.
Practice. Yesterday, though, DeAndre Swift was held out of practice, I believe.
What, a personal reason? Was he hurt?
I'm not sure.
I didn't see that at all. But anyway, the Detroit Lions are 1.5 point favorites for the first time ever. I mean, look, first time ever. First time in 24. It feels like forever. If the Washington Commanders go 2-0, the Giants go 2-0, the Eagles go 2-0, it's gonna be like, oh my God, the world's gonna fucking fall. I'm gonna go and fade everybody on this show. We'll see what I do on Sunday, but I'm gonna go with Detroit Rock City at home to get this job done. I think that crowd's gonna be ruckus. I think they're gonna be very, very interested in salivating over the fact that Carson Wentz is coming into town and they're gonna take care of business. I like the Lions in this one right now. I like the Lions in this one.
Hawaii might come in.
All right, Swift missed 2 days in a row, but he's fine for Sunday.
Says he's fine.
Give me Jamal Williams all day long.
Cam Akers said he was fine last week too.
I'm not buying it. Where are you at with this one?
I'm jumping on the Lions bandwagon.
Yeah, let's go.
I don't believe it, man.
Let's go. There's a reason why me and Rob are in the basement right now. It's because we're of games like
Did you guys
this.
see the 50 Cent interview that came out?
No, he's still around.
It's like an old one that resurfaced and talking about him and Kanye and that, they're rooting against him now because he's the favorite. Now the Lions are the favorite. It changes everything, bro. It changes their entire identity.
First of all,
it really
they're
does.
not going to be favored for the rest of the year.
They're not the underdog.
They're not going to be favored for the rest of the year. I don't even know their schedule. They're never going to be favored.
They might as well fire their coach now because he has no identity. If he's not an underdog, he can't do it.
Where are all the kneecaps to bite?
That's good.
Bite any.
That was funny. I like that. Fire him. He has no identity.
Rob Ear, 2011, saying Washington isn't going anywhere until they change back to the Redskins. I agree with you, Rob. So anyway, with all due respect,
except they're going to go 1-1. That's where they're going. Nowhere. They're not going anywhere else, but they're going 1-1.
Who?
The Commanders.
So they're going to lose. They won last week. They'll be 2-0 if they win.
Holy shit.
Yeah, no shit. That's the worrisome shit.
And yes. Undefeated. Dallas
anyway.
won too.
The Miami Dolphins. This one's a very, very big toss-up here because we talked about J.K. Dobbins in the open. The Ravens are coming into this one off their win against the Jets. They're 3.5 point favorites over the Miami Dolphins, who are coming off a very, very impressive win over the Patriots. Tua played good. Hill looked fast. Everything looked good for the Dolphins. Now they got to travel to Baltimore. I know you said earlier, Kyle, this one's going to be tough, but I mean, you're flipping a coin here.
Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't handicap the game yet. I could just tell you like what the surface level shit says. And it's just like the Raiders game. There's nothing to go off of. Money split down the middle. The line's been locked at 3.5 all week. There's no angles. So I will say that the Dolphins blitz last season, remember that Tuesday night game? They gave Lamar Jackson a fit. They won the game 22-10, but I'm pretty sure it was 22-3 late, and that was a garbage time touchdown. Lamar Jackson couldn't do anything against that blitz, and it's the same DC. Mike McDaniels kept the same DC for Miami, so I expect them to blitz Lamar heavy again. The problem is Lamar actually looked like he was making reads in the passing game. Now it was against the Jets, right. but it looked like Lamar has changed his game up a little as well. So maybe he's better equipped to handle the blitz. I really don't know. Me and AJ are going to have to perform open heart surgery on this one to get a pick.
That's a good one. And also, let's just call it how we see it. Lamar Jackson playing for a guaranteed contract. That's what he wants. So he's going to have to win games like this. Gooch, does he get the job done against Tua and the Dolphins?
I think that you really can't make Lamar something that he's not. You give him a little bit of time and he's able to dissect, and that he's able to do a certain thing that he's typically not. When you get after him the way Miami's he's not going to make those same reads. He kind of changes and reverts back to the quarterback that he's always been. Muscle memory is going to kick in. He might make some plays with his legs, but that Miami defense is just they're starting to get the credit that they deserve, but for the last 3 seasons, they've been criminally underrated. I know they're probably still without Byron Jones, right? He was on the pup, but I don't think it's going to matter because the pressure is going to be a lot for Lamar to deal with. I don't think that they have anybody outside Mark Andrews that really poses a threat to the Miami secondary. Their front seven's good. I'm going with Miami because of the defense. Although I do think the Baltimore corners are going to make it a little bit hard for those receivers to get open down the field, but that's not going to be Miami's game anyway. It's get these guys the ball in space, and let's see what they could do with their legs. I think that's the recipe for Miami without handicapping it. I might actually take the plus 150.
Go ahead, Kyle.
To the Baltimore corners, I think
Scoop's trying to get out of the closet, by the way. I can hear him.
I believe the Baltimore corners are going through injuries again. I think Kyle Fuller's out, so they're without their nickelback, and then Marlon Humphrey's also dealing with something. So there's some question marks there.
Yeah, look, when you watched what the Ravens were able to do against the Jets, and I'm not even going to say, well, it was the Jets, because I think the Jets' defense has improved. So, like, Lamar Jackson played a very good game last week, and I'm not one to be the one that's always shouting that from the mountaintops, because I'm not a big Lamar guy, right? I saw what Lamar dealt with when he played Miami last year, and when Miami is going to – I said it on Twitter, and I stood by it, and I said Tua stinks. I think that he just – his – delivery is weird. Maybe it's because he's a lefty. But just like, I don't know. He just doesn't look good. But you don't have to be that great when you can find these very, very fast, talented receivers doing drag routes and quick slants and stuff like that. I think it's going to pose for some difficult situations for the Baltimore Ravens. You're giving me 3.5. I'm taking that 3.5. I'm going Dolphins here. Rob?
I'm taking the Ravens.
Oh, okay. So after what you saw last week,
see what we can get out of J.K.
I don't
Dobbins.
believe in Tua at all. I don't.
I don't either.
That's
but
the common theme.
Ravens at
he's
home.
Like nobody believes in Jimmy G and keeps on winning and covering. Tua, look at him, wins games. Look at his win percentage. It's out of this.
Look, he's beaten Belichick 4 times, as Kyle said before. All right, here comes some tragedy here. So it's the 4:25 start. Tony Romo, Jim Nantz on the call. It is the Dallas Cowboys hosting the defending AFC champion Cincinnati Bengals. We all know the story. Dak Prescott out for this game, out for the next couple of games at least. Cooper Rush will get the start. The defense played very well against Tampa Bay outside of a touchdown catch out of nowhere out of Mike Evans. They played pretty good. Joe Burrow coming into this one a little bit, obviously very un-Joe Burrow-esque last week against Pittsburgh, turned the ball over 5 times and still had a chance to win the game. Kyle, you're a Cowboys guy at heart. You're sometimes too critical to a fault, but I think most of it's accurate. I retweeted something you put out 2 years ago, and I was just like, holy shit, look at this guy hitting that shit too. So with this one, look at this. JD coming in 38-10. Big Bengals win here. And it looks like, just want to take a moment. Okay, nobody cares. Kyle, so where are you going with this one, bro? The Dallas Cowboys have a chance being 7.5-point dogs at home.
Yeah, for sure. I also love how, I don't know what's going on, but this line got all the way up to 8.5, and then The sharps are out here hammering Dallas. The money's about even now, and the line. It's actually this morning it dropped again. It's down to 7 even. So the books aren't trying to sell those Dallas +8, Dallas +7.5 tickets. They're scared of them. They're scared of the defense, as they should be. Nothing has changed in the Dallas defense. It should still be a top 5, maybe even a top 3 defense. Nothing has changed on that front.
Nothing.
One thing that scares me about the Cowboys, I don't know if you saw this last week. Who's that linebacker on the Bucs? Devin White. So Devin White did an interview, and they asked him about the game, and he was like, he said something about like it was the exact same game plan that they did last year. Yeah, it was just like, Kellen Moore.
Yeah. Kellen Moore. Wait, who do they have? McCarthy?
Yeah, it's like they didn't differentiate anything from the last, and they're like, you know what? We'll just do the same thing we did last year because nobody in the history of football ever makes adjustments. So yeah, their game plan was kind of doo-doo. But you think there's at least a chance that they at least cover?
Yeah, I like Dallas at 7. If it gets to 6.5, hell no.
I like Dallas a lot in this one because, like you said, the Dallas.
To win?
No, the Dallas defense is the same thing that it was last year, but so is the Bengals offensive line apparently because they looked like hot garbage last week. And I know it was T.J. Watt
and
that
Lyle
wreaked
Collins
havoc,
coming home,
and it was T.J. Watt that wreaked havoc. But guess what? Micah Parsons is over there too, so it's the same kind of situation. They're gonna have fits with him. It's going to be worse than it was against Pittsburgh as far as I see it because he just brings a different speed to it. And there is no Minka though. That's the one thing.
Oh, well, we got plenty of guys out there.
But Dallas's defense is really good. The Bengals, I expected a little bit of a regression. I didn't expect them to play as bad, but there's going to be some big plays. There is some big plays to be had against the Dallas defense. So I think there's going to be a lot of points in this one on one side of the ball, but I don't think it's going to be enough to cover the 7.5.
Right. Who needs Minka Fitzpatrick when you have Anthony Brown though?
Thank you, God. Like
fair.
Nobody wants to
point.
say it. It's like it has to be said. Anyway, look, the Cowboys last year they started Cooper Rush one game. Dak missed it, and Cooper Rush went out there, threw over 300 yards, won the game for the Cowboys on the road in Minnesota. Now you have a home game opportunity, right? And then listen. He's not an awful quarterback. He ain't great by any stretch. He's not even close to being Joe Burrow across the hall. But like what I'll say is this. The receivers on this team have worked with Cooper Rush, like a Simi Fehoko, Noah Brown, not so much CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb's got to get more separation if he wants to be anywhat productive on this one. I'm looking at this game and I see the 7.5 number and I'm just like, come on. I mean, that's kind of disrespectful, right? And then I'm like, well, then this game could get away from them hard. But then I saw 260 money line. Give me those goddamn Dallas Cowboys. Win this game outright. Cooper Rush, baby. Home game. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Home game, Cooper Rush. Put your stamp on the season. Make them talk about a controversy in 3 weeks.
If they win this game, it's not going to be because of Cooper Rush. It's
I don't give a
Micah
shit.
Parsons.
I'm with Micah Parsons for a couple strip sacks, all that good shit. Give me the defense to play well. Give me Cooper Rush to throw 2 touchdowns, at least 2. 1 to Dalton Schultz, 1 to my guy, CeeDee Lamb. Make it happen. Get it done, Cooper. Come on, baby. Go ahead. Rob, any hope?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't think that's going to happen at all. See Joey Burrow having a day. Diggs giving up like 3 touchdowns.
All right, calm the fuck down here. What are we doing here?
Yo, one thing I like, though, I think that with Cooper Rush in there and all of a sudden the whole narrative of the Cowboys season has changed, I think that will force Kellen Moore to call a more conservative offensive game, which would help us.
Yeah,
like shit, we can't try to get too cute. We need to just.
Elliott was averaging, Mr. Pass Blocking Elliott himself was averaging 5 yards a carry, and they abandoned the run.
Yeah, when you said call a more conservative game, I think Mike McCarthy licked his lips somewhere. That excites that guy. Let's call a more conservative game.
Oh my God! All right, so there's that one, and then obviously this crazy ass spread. Figure this one out, Sauce. I mean, come on. The Green Bay Packers went out there, laid an egg, you would say, against the who the fuck they play? Oh, the Vikings. Vikings, they couldn't coverage Justin Jefferson for shit. In comes the big bad booty daddies known as the Chicago Bears, coming in there 1-0 off their very emotional home game win over the San Francisco 49ers. I'm hyping this up for no reason because I don't feel like this is going to go any way other than one way. Sauce, I know you have this love-hate, mostly hate with Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. How do you see this one playing out?
My opinions are completely objective. I don't feel any way about Aaron Rodgers. That being said, I think the Bears win this game outright. Plus 375 money line. Justin Fields, in the pouring rain, playing in a Chicago tornado. Still look pretty good. I
would love to know who's the worst team Kyle is picking against. Like in all the Packers games, I guarantee you have your worst win percentage of at least last season against Green Bay because they covered and you faded every single week.
I looked it up after you said that. I was 4-13 betting on the Packers in the regular season last year.
That is so
That's
perfect.
What me and Dave were last week.
That is rich. Yeah, me and Rob did that last week alone.
Good. Look, the Packers are at home. They got embarrassed. It was a tougher game than people thought. I mean, than I thought it was going to be, clearly, because they got beat. But it wasn't that bad in the second half. They did make some adjustments and played a lot better against Jefferson outside of that fourth quarter drive and that catch. But they didn't do the right thing with Jair. I expect at least a little bit of adjustment, but they don't have to deal with Justin Jefferson. Darnell Mooney could run a route, but he ain't Justin Jefferson.
Rashad White's giving you a safety. Bears win 33-2. So
there you go.
That's interesting.
So
you're rolling with your boys at -10.
I would imagine since he's a Michigan State guy, they all team up. Every single NFC North fan. Maybe he's a Lions fan.
I don't know if he's ever actually announced his team. Maybe he could do that in the comments.
His allegiance.
That's probably why.
But I feel like everybody up there hates on the Packers, so that's fine.
Are you alternating this one?
Yeah, I'm definitely laying 17, 16 and a half in this one. We're gonna lay the wood on Chicago. Justin Fields, look, he could run in a swamp, but he can't pass on a nice day. So I don't want to hear it.
63-10 is the final score according to Kyle Kirms. The Mini Bears defeat the Packers.
Did you catch that reference in Saturday Night Live?
Yes.
Chris Farley. Yeah.
Yes. Heart attack. Just another one. Let's see here. So look. Aaron Rodgers last week looked like shit, right? Everybody's like, okay, where is
Packers are going to score 42 points alone.
Okay, well, then that's fine. And that means the over will be hit by the Packers alone. Look, the Bears played out of their minds last week in a torrential downpour, right? Everybody's excited about it. The Bears fans are jumping about it. If the Bears keep this close, I'll say that there's a problem in Green Bay. That's my prediction there. If the Bears keep this within a score or something like that at the end of the game, you're like, what the fuck? Like, why is this happening right now? That's when I say you raise some flags about Green Bay. I also remember what happened last year after the Green Bay Packers got starched in week 1. They came out and ripped off 9 straight. It's hard for me to do this, but I'm going to lay the points, and I'm going to take the Packers. I don't like it. I might change it on Sunday at 8 o'clock before it kicks off, but I kind of like the Packers to kind of do their thing. It's still Aaron Rodgers, man. He'll make a receiver. He'll make the concession guy a receiver by the end of the day.
Lazard's going to play, I think, too. That's big. And I think we might be getting at least Bakhtiari back.
All right, we'll see. Rob, where are you going with this one?
Aaron Rodgers is on record saying he owns the Bears.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I own you.
So that means they're coming in with a chip on their shoulder. You're on the Bears, right, Rob?
Of course I am.
Oh.
Because I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to win games.
I'm not trying to make friends.
We are taking the Bears.
Oh,
Justin Fields will embarrass Aaron Rodgers.
Jeremy Barrera. Bears are 0-5 against the spread in the last 5 games against the NFC North. There you go. Here's a stat for you. Thank you for that one, Jeremy. Make sure to like the video. Look, I'm not doing what he's doing. I'm not saying 16 and a half, but if they win 33-23, I'll say, or 33-21 or whatever the fuck. I just think that Rodgers is going to do his thing.
Bears are not scoring
even if he has to own his own shit and run around a little bit and make some plays. Like I said, if this game is close, then Gooch, look, I'll ask you a question. If they win this game 20-13.
The Bears?
Yeah, no, the Packers.
Okay.
20-13. And the Bears have a chance to win at the end. Are you coming in here fluffing your chest out on Monday?
If the Packers win 42-10, it's the Bears. I'm still not.
That's not what he asked you, though. That's not what he asked you.
That's not what I asked you. I'm saying, are you worried?
There's no victory that I'm going to fluff my chest out. Will I be a little less excited about the future of the team if they only win by a touchdown? Yes. But an NFL win is an NFL win against a division team.
You don't got to tell me that. You don't got to tell me that, but
I think the Packers,
I feel like you kind of walked out
that
of
we're
that
going to
question.
hopefully see down the stretch when it gets cold. That's the way this team is built right now, to run the football. They don't have the receivers. They're not going to be. Finally, when we get a home game in the playoffs, it's not going to be like we needed to be nice weather and the 49ers come in and needed to be sloppy. Like we could actually hopefully take over that realm.
I have a stat here that no one's talking about this game.
Go ahead.
Did you know that Aaron Rodgers hasn't covered a spread in 9 months? Just saying. 9 months, bro.
Really?
They've only played once.
You know what, though? This is why this show is the premier show on your Fridays, because we're spitting cold hard facts about Aaron Rodgers against the spread. He has not covered a spread in 9 months. That's factual. Check the books. Check everything. That is facts. 1,000%. Kyle, my man, thank you so much for joining us here on a Lean Friday, bro. We appreciate all your expertise.
Oh, did you want the college picks?
Yes, I do. Bring them. Hey,
Okay.
listen, I will say that you announced yesterday to nail 2.5 with Florida State.
That's
jumped on
tonight.
that this morning, and it stayed at 2.5, so it did not move.
Dave's unit did not sway the line.
Yes, my unit did not sway the line.
Kyle, real quick, you do watch like College Game Day with all them with Pat McAfee on it, right? Now,
I mean, I have it on. I'm usually working,
he's
but
getting a lot of flack like in the comments that he's like terrible. Like people don't like him on the show. Do you think that? I haven't watched it, but I saw it.
I mean, I watched the last week, and dude, I mean, I think that's just like he has a different audience. Like, I don't know if the College Game Day people that watch that are necessarily Pat McAfee type people. He's
Okay.
like,
That's a good point. He's getting destroyed, dude.
No,
They don't
like-
want him
that's
on it.
unfortunate. I like him.
I like him too.
He's our guy over here at Child Sports, friend of the show, Pat McAfee. So, all right, give us other leans or picks or whatever.
I got one that I got one that you're gonna like, Dave. We're back.
Are we hooking him?
Well, no, we're not hooking them, but we're back on the Miami of Ohio Redhawks. If you remember, remember last year,
Yes, let's go.
they're
I
playing a
love it.
home game against Cincinnati, and this is a really bold statement. They're getting 21.5. I think they could win.
Yes.
I love the 21.5, obviously, but I think they could realistically win. Blaine Gabbert's little brother's the quarterback there. He's good. They have a good passing game for the MAC. Their pass defense is nice. And I think the quarterback for Cincinnati's from Eastern Michigan. He's been compared to a young Tony Romo.
Legend.
Ben Bryant. Yeah, he plays for Cincinnati. He transferred, I guess, because Tony came from Eastern Illinois, Eastern Michigan. I don't fucking know. But
Eastern Illinois, yes.
I think the Red Hawk defense give him problems. I'm on Miami of Ohio, definitely.
Okay.
Plus 21.5.
Loving it.
Definitely on Notre Dame. Cal is
This is
gotten
the one
way.
I know you talked about it.
Bro, Cal, I'm telling you, this team's not good. This team's not good, but they happen to be 2-0. And then they have the Jack Plummer transfers there from Purdue. So it's like they have this like NFL legend son transfer in, and we're 2-0. All of a sudden, Cal thinks they're a good team. They're not. Notre
What's
Dame's
the spread of that
defense
game? Is Notre Dame
11.
12.
Is it 12 now? It was 11
I saw
yesterday.
12.
So they're 12-point dogs?
No.
Oh,
California
what
is.
the hell?
Yeah.
Okay. So minus 12 Notre Dame.
I don't think they hit double-digit points, Cal.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. What else you got?
And then the last one, I'm throwing this in there because it's a great game. I'm taking Penn State -3 at Auburn, one of the best games of the week. And I'm going to lay the 3 with Penn State on the road because regardless if it's Sean Clifford playing quarterback or Drew Aller, both of them are miles better than TJ Finley. And in years past, you might say, yeah, but Sauce, the Auburn defense is going to be better than Penn State's defense. I don't know this year because Penn State's defense was good last year and it looks to be even better this year. So I'm on the Nittany Lions.
All right. Perfect. So we got Penn State, Notre Dame, and of course those
The Red Hawks.
Red Hawks, baby. Let's fucking go. Kyle, thank you for all the expertise today, my friend. We'll talk to you in the chat. And you can visit Kyle at KyleKirms.com for all of his VIP tickets. You got to sign up, obviously. And he gives
We're putting
out a lot of stuff.
we're putting out 13 college football picks on YouTube tonight. 13
You are
AJ.
all
So
psychopaths
they're for
over
free.
there.
That's free.
That's free stuff.
Those are free on
ladies and
YouTube.
gentlemen.
13 of them are going up. AJ's actually going to be here in about 30 minutes. So
Have at it. All right, man.
That guy fought.
That guy solely fucks. This is great.
off yourself, bro. All right, I got to go though. I'll talk to you guys later.
Take care, guys. Take care. All right, so that is a show, ladies and gentlemen. A Lean Friday. We'll be back here on the show Monday to go over how bad we all did on our picks. Now, I think we're gonna slap this week. I got a good feeling. I don't know. I'm feeling good about a lot of games. So
Steamrolling into week 2. with
make
the
sure
Thursday
you check out, and there's our
buzz
friends
going.
over at Mojo. Be sure to check out the Mojo Market Report making its debut on Monday morning at 9:30. It's not a live show, so me and Gooch will be here at 3 a.m. to record the damn thing. You didn't even smirk at that. You're just like, yep, 3 a.m. sounds like a plan. So we'll be here to record that, and it'll drop at 9:30 on the Mojo YouTube channel. And then, of course, we'll be back to join all of our friends here on the Chop Sports every other day, the Chop Sports show on Monday morning at 11 o'clock. and then we'll catch you guys up and make some Monday Night Football picks and all that. So enjoy your weekend, everybody. Enjoy the football. Gamble responsibly. Don't lose all your money, please, for the love of God. We don't want to take any responsibility for that. So for Sturch, Gooch, Rob, Joe, Ash, Sauce, the world, for all of you guys watching, please like the video, and we'll see you guys on Monday.
4 touchdowns for Carson Wentz this week.
Get the fuck out.
And if anyone could find the Detroit Lions head coach, who is he?
Dan Campbell.
No, but who? He has no identity. It's gone.
Oh, God.